5 jewelry organizational hacks, especially if you're obsessed with jewelry as much as I am. Hack number 1 is to lay everything out, especially when it comes to daintier pieces like these dainty necklaces. By the way, I will link all of my organizational pieces in the description. I have these velvety trays from Amazon, and this is the best way I have found to basically host anything that is thin and dainty. I have very much maxed out of this tray. I might even need to get a new tray because I would love to have my dainty bracelets laid out like this too. I just found it really helpful to see everything all laid out, because the more you can separate these dainty pieces, the easier it is to actually see what you have, to find the right ones, and then also you can quickly take them off as you wear them and put them back on. And then also, of course, because they're laid out individually, they will not tangle with each other. I basically just stand this up on one of my shelves in my little walk-in closet, and every time I put together an outfit, the jewelry is right there so I can very easily see what I want. This is another good example. If you have a lot of earrings, I have a ton of earrings, so I actually just put them all in their individual little cubes. It's just very visually easy to find them, and they don't fall all over the place. Right now, this is how I store all of my dainty bracelets. I kind of just tuck them in. This tray is actually originally designed to store your earrings and rings, but I have actually found that it is easier to store those other pieces in smaller little trays, which I'll talk about in a bit. But for my dainty bracelets, I like to just lay them flat so that, again, they don't tangle with each other, and then also it's a bit easier for me to see. And because they're all so dainty, if you kind of scrunch them up in little cubes, you can't even actually see what the design is. So I found this being very, very helpful for your dainty bracelet. But like I mentioned, I would probably just get another one of these trays for the dainty bracelets to stand, because I actually quite like when the longer pieces are standing up so that they're very much, you know, straight, let gravity do the work, and they can very much be separated from each other. The second hack, which is kind of a no-brainer, but I feel like if you really follow this rule, it will make your organizational game strong, and it will also make it so easy to style your jewelry, which is to organize your jewelry by category, duh, but also by metal type. So using the necklace example, again, all of my dainty necklaces are here. I have put actually all of my chunky necklaces on another rack in my walk-in closet, just because the chunky ones take up so much space, and it's actually easier for me to just grab the chunky ones from bigger hooks. And then within the category, I usually parse them out by, you know, gold, rose gold, and silver, just because it is very easy visually for you to tell which color metal it is if you tend to wear the same color metal, or even if you are mix and matching, then it's also really easy. Your eyes are more, you know, trained to look at the pieces by color groups. For anything that is dainty, for example, these are all of my dainty earrings. I stored them, maybe it's best to show you the back of it. Yeah, I stored them in these little, almost like pill trays. Again, organized by metal color and sometimes size of it or color of the pendant. I just think it's really easy to visually, if I'm looking at my jewelry top down, I can very easily see all of these earrings and very easily, let's say, if I want to take out a pair to wear, I just take it out and I leave the lid open. So at the end of the day, when I'm done, I can just put it exactly back in the empty spot and slot it in. I also find that these little trays, because they come in individuals of 4, they're perfect for traveling. You don't need to get a travel jewelry pouch or anything. They're so small. You can just tuck them into your toiletry bag and you're good to go. So love how this is keeping all of the dainty pieces organized. All of my rings, for example, are in this tray. I have then all of my bigger earrings in this tray. This tray is a little bit of a mishmash. Again, I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to store these bracelets, but it's mainly bracelets. And then I also have just another tray of anything that's too big, too bulky. I mean, mainly bulkier bracelets, some watches, and bulkier earrings. The third hack is for jewelry that tarnishes easily. So anything that is gold plated, in many cases gold vermeil as well as sterling silver. Try to store them in airtight spaces as much as possible. I think the most ideal way to prevent tarnishing is really put them in airtight containers, so essentially no air goes in and they will not get oxidized that way. But what I have found over the years is, again, these organizers, just because you can very much compartmentalize everything and everything can be in their individual components, so they don't cross tarnish or cross contaminate. And it's also very easy to kind of take these out. You basically just, you know, pop these open to take out the pieces. And especially for sterling silver, when I used to put all of my rings out in air, basically like tuck them into these little ring holders, the sterling silver and the gold plated pieces usually turn black like within a few days, and every time I have to wear them I have to polish them, which is really annoying. But ever since I put these in these little pill boxes, they have turned out very well. For the most part, they don't tarnish, or even if they do, because they're not, you know, completely airtight at the end of the day. But even if they do tarnish, it takes a very long time for any of those pieces to tarnish. As I know, it's not aesthetic, it's not pretty, but hey, it's functional and it actually encourages me to wear my jewelry pieces more, because I don't have to give them a polish before I wear any of these tarnishable pieces. Speaking of taking care of tarnishable pieces, I actually have a little compartment here where I store all of these jewelry cloth wipes that comes with usually the jewelry packaging. Definitely do not throw them away, because you really don't need to buy extra tarnishing cloths. I mean, if you own a lot of jewelry like I do, I feel like I have enough polishing cloths for the rest of my life, and these are really handy to just give your jewelry a quick polish, especially sterling silver. Let me just use this one as example. I'm wearing this Monica Vinader one. You have a little bit of tarnish at the corners, so I can just quickly give it a wipe. What it does is it takes out kind of the dark bits. Yeah, I mean, it wipes clean pretty much immediately, and the tarnished bits will be left on the cloth. Over time, if your cloth is too dark, that means, you know, you need to use a new one. And look, basically shiny as brand new. Also, I just found it helpful to have these jewelry maintenance pieces just in your tray, so you don't have to go to a separate drawer or a separate corner or box or pouch to find these maintenance pieces. So I have these cloth I also have a ring sizer somewhere here. Oh yeah, this compartment has a couple of ring sizers, and I also have this little box that's got little necklace connectors if I want to wear layered dainty necklaces and I really love a set. I just hook them onto these connectors so that I always have this set ready, and it's really easy to put on and take off. I also, by the way, keep some travel pouches. My favorite is the Ana Luisa pouches because it's magnetic and each pouch actually has two components. So usually a pouch like this is more than sufficient. If I'm going on a short trip, I can put my necklace, earrings, rings here if I want to swap out my look. And then it is fabric, so very malleable, and it's actually just really pretty. I've also used this to keep other just small trinkets I have as almost like a handbag pouch. And I also have these Ziploc type of pouches that hopefully help keep the tarnishable ones from tarnishing too easily. The last hack, especially if you do have quite a few jewelry pieces and it's sometimes you just don't want to think about what to pick out from your huge collection, I always recommend something that can hold your everyday pieces. And for me, I have a lot of earrings, a lot of rings, but my earrings are pretty nicely laid out, so I know exactly where to find them. But for my rings, I keep my kind of current favorites or current rings on rotation on this little hand sculpture. I mean, it's also just a cool decor of its own, but I've found that taking out pieces that you want to wear this season, for example, or this time of the year, or pieces that are new to your collection, you want to make sure you try, setting them aside in some sort of smaller display will encourage you to actually rotate through your collection a bit more. And then here, as you can see, because it is the colder season, I have a lot of just like chunkier statement-y pieces or just fun pieces that I want to rotate in my collection. Let me know in the comments below if you have any jewelry organizational hacks, especially how do you keep your tarnishable jewelry from tarnishing too easily. I'm still on the hunt for the perfect but also aesthetically pleasing jewelry organizer. I think my current system does the job, but it's not like the most pretty. So if you have any suggestions, please leave in the comments below.